The local 3-Storm Alert Team, because experience, technology, and accuracy matter.
I am in my happy space this morning, and you are going to be so glad that you've come along for the ride with me, because I am at Humpreys Florist at the corner of Holtzclaw and Macaulay, talking with Beth Trivett, who has the great joy of being the manager here at Humpreys. Good to see you.
Nice to meet you.
People who have watched me for a number of years know that I'm kind of a flower geek. I love them. I just love them. But I loved when I came into Humpreys today, the first thing that greeted me, Beth, were all these house plants. Because people can often forget that beyond the floral arrangements in a vase, you've got beautiful house plants.
Yes, and they're great for all occasions. We tend to send them out for sympathy. We send them out for get well, birthdays. They're great for events if you want to decorate stages or whatever. We have a lot, and we tend to pick them up weekly.
Well, and they will last you. One of the things that you're doing when you come here to Humpreys is, besides choosing the beautiful plant, you're also able to tap in to their knowledge base. So I was sharing with Dave and Helen, the owners, I have at my house a peace lily that was given to my husband and me 28 years ago when his mother died. And that little plant has traveled with me over the course of all of these years, and it does great.
Yes.
But that's very commonly heard.
Correct. It is. Peace lilies are one of the most hardy plants that people send out. They really last a long time as long as they're tended to well and they're in a good light.
Y'all, let's talk about lasting a long time. Humpreys has been here for 90 years.
Yes.
Family owned and operated for all of these years.
That's right. 4th generation this year.
So you can't do that without being trusted by people.
Correct. We have had a lot of the same clientele. Most of them, their parents were our first customers, and now we have them as customers.
So I have to fill you in on kind of the behind the scenes things that you don't get to see on camera. So a couple of times that we've been here already this morning, the doors have opened. It's a busy day for them here at Humpreys. One, I think, was a mail delivery, and there's the resident dog, Lulu.
Yes.
And the mail delivery person was kind of afraid of Lulu, so they quickly ran to the door to get the mail, and that way she wouldn't have to see the sweet dog. And then we had to stop again because in came a local grower with some flowers to bring to y'all.
We tend to do a lot of the locals. A small business, we like to stick with small businesses in the area, so we do a lot of work with them.
So let's talk now back to these houseplants, because I just love them. You were saying that when you come here in the mornings and you're the first person here, you just love to take a deep breath because the air in here is so clean.
Correct. When I walk in, it's like walking into fresh air. It's one of my favorite places to come. I even come in on my off days, so it's a nice environment with lots of plants to look at.
So when people are thinking about buying a house plant, lighting is very important.
Correct.
We are on the cusp of fall allergy season. This is a great way to keep that air in your home or your office.
Correct.
Nice and clean, but lighting is important.
It is. Some plants like direct light, most of them like indirect light, and then you have your fun shade plants. So it just depends on what area you're wanting to put some plants in. We can have a plant anywhere.
So let's go back to the experience that most of us have probably had, and that is where there's been a sadness, a death, or something like that for a family or a friend, and you want to send something.
Yes.
And maybe you decide to send a living plant, like was given to me.
Yeah.
But if you don't know what the person's home looks like, what those lighting conditions are going to be, is there kind of a fail-safe?
There is. We like to do a European garden, so it's just a mixture of 5 to 8 plants in a basket, different kind of lighting. So you can put your plants anywhere that you're really looking for.
Let's talk about watering.
Yes.
People tend to overwater.
They do. Root rot is a real thing, and your plants do not like that. What we'd like to do in our shop is every, I'd say 2 weeks or so, we take our plants and dunk them. That way they get the good roots and let them drain. Then send them back in there and they're good to go, as long as you're not overwatering or underwatering, because that is also a thing.
Something that surprised me, I mean, I was floored.
Yes.
I had my eye on, what is the one behind you?
Dieffenbachia.
Okay, I had my eye on that Dieffenbachia, and it's in this beautiful blue pot. And you told me that when you purchase from you, typically you also buy the pot that it's in. So do you, which at a fantastic price. I can't stress that enough, the price. So would you recommend that people pot it directly in that
No.
plant? planter?
We do not.
Okay.
They like to stay in the growing pot. If you're going to do indoor plants, they prefer to be tight. They don't want to have too much root to grow out because then they're more likely to faint. And you don't want that for your plants.
Which also makes care of the plant a lot easier because now you're not lifting this heavy pot.
Exactly. And for watering purposes, it's easier to just pull the whole growing pot out, stick it in your bathtub, let it soak for a little bit, and then let the water drain out and stick it back in your pot.
People love a free tip. So I'm going to have you go back and repeat this because what you do every couple of weeks is you take it out, but rather than put it in the tub to pour water on, you soak it from the bottom.
Correct. We soak them. They like bottom watering. A lot of times when you water the top, it doesn't go all the way to the bottom where your roots are. So you think you're giving it enough water, and you're really not. So if you just take the guy, stick it in a bucket of water or in your bathtub, which is what we do at home, you can just let it drain out naturally, and then you can put it back in your pot.
Let's talk about textures. People don't always think about the textures of plants, but it makes a big difference.
It really does. Some leaves are more hardy than others. You've got Dieffenbachia. It's softer, but you got a Croton who looks the same, and he's a harder.
But he needs a lot of light. No?
It just depends. These plants are a little finicky. They do like light, but they don't like too much light, but they will also grow in the shade.
Let's talk about this little guy down here.
Kalanchoes. We love a kalanchoe. Those are a great blooming plant. When the buds fall off, they will continue to come back. So it's a really good plant to have in your house.
Everything here is so healthy, and that's part of the secret too when you are purchasing a plant or sending one as a gift. If it doesn't enter healthy, you're fighting an uphill battle.
Exactly, and we tend to take care of our plants very well here. I think that out of all of the plants in the shop, we have the best ones in here. Just to be honest, these are your best ones. Fiddle leaf fig is a great plant. Those come in all kinds of different sizes, and you can get them in a smaller leaf as well.
Okay.
Those things are great. They last a long time as well.
And this is just a sampling because you heard me say when I first walked in, this is what I saw. There's a whole nother room with a beautiful table set up where you can sit and plan. If you are throwing an event, table arrangements are beautiful, but don't forget about the power of these.
Don't sleep on the plants. These things are great.
All right, well, you've been pretty great too.
Well, thank you.
Thanks for the Education 101.
You're very welcome.
Here's your education for this morning. Go to Humpreys Florist. Their website's fantastic. I will tell you one fun fact I learned from Dave. When you're looking at the floral arrangements and the pictures of those, almost all of them are created right here by Humpreys. So you're not looking at some manufactured thing. This is all local.
Yes, ma'am. It is. We pride ourselves on being original.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Feels good to be home.
Ashley's Labor Day sale is going on now, and everything is on sale. Doorbusters are up to 60% off, starting at just $1.99.